right, so now we're, oh man, oh, no, 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 no. Okay, so we're following this rider right here. I see a bunch of other riders right here stacked on here. This is possibly where we're all going to sit and meet and hang out, okay? Also, I start to think, I want to kind of show off myself, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and remove a little bit of that. So ego, target fixation, space cushion. So for me personally, since this person right here is not responsible for my safety, I'm responsible for my safety. I need to make sure I have a good space cushion. I also need to make sure I'm paying attention to what's in front of me. That's a possible hazard, not what's on the sides. Okay, so we're target fixated on these people, seeing if there's any chicas or anything like that, which I can't do that, and I'm not gonna do it because I'm happily married. Look at that right there. But you guys might. So in this situation, I'm making sure I have a good space cushion. I'm making sure I'm responsible for my own safety. And I'm looking for escape paths if I possibly can have one, which there's plenty on a motorcycle. So here's that space cushion, kind of improved, but oh man, he's doing a little stoppy. He's having a little fun with his ego. Okay, so that's his fault. Now, I got a little too close. I wasn't paying attention. If he can stop on one tire, I should be able to stop on two with good progressive brake pressure, okay? So we collided right there. We kind of fell over. We lost some balance because maybe too much front brake pressure. Okay. All right, right here. What do you think is going to happen here, guys? Write in the comments. Oh, no, 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 no. Type of mechanism injury on this one. What type of injuries he could possibly have doing a loopity-loop. Ooh, what's right there? I always say it all the time. It's your coccyx. It's your tailbone. You could easily break that. He's slipping and sliding. Hopefully he has full gear so that he's... Oh, this is his view. Hopefully he has full gear so that he's not damaging, his skin. Okay, your skin is the largest organ on your body. Real quick, look how far it went. Look how far his bike slid. Ooh. All right, so right here we're in a group ride. We're wearing full gear. Hopefully that's going to minimize any injuries he has. I really don't, I do care, but here's the thing. It's not my place to tell this person not to do something. It's not even the government's place. It's nobody's place. It's only his place to tell himself not to do it. Now, it's up to me if I want to ride with him or not, and he better not be upset if I don't want to ride with him. Right? It's also my opinion for saying, you know what? Don't do it. But you can go do it if you want. My only concern is you're safe. So you have full gear, good. You minimized and mitigated some of the issues that you could possibly be having if you fail, which happens right here. So we're going to move forward right here. But my biggest concern now is that your failure can cause an issue for any other riders. So it's a good job that this rider right here slowed down and didn't hit him. Now, we're having to be responsible for you because you're on the ground in our roadway, in our path. So this is where you start creating problems for other people. So that's what I don't like. But my main concern here is your safety. So make sure you wear full gear. So if you're going to be doing this, at least it's going to mitigate some of the issues you might have. But please, please, please take this to someplace else that's more closed course. Because the fact that he fell here, now everyone else back here is responsible for his safety. Like this person right here, there you go, he went away, is responsible for your safety. Don't do that. Don't do that. And don't be mad if I hit you because you're in my way. So we're moving. Oh, what do you think that was? What do you think that was, that first part?
No.
What do you think that first part was?
Oh, God!
Oh, I remember this was a retro bike. Look at that. Tank is dented, damaged. What do you think was the factor? What do you think the factor was? Okay, it doesn't mean if you're right or wrong. If we see like 10 different factors, maybe we look at the comments and be like, you know what? Maybe I should practice all 10 of those factors. All right, so we're going to be riding right here. Now, this is a Honda. It's an older style bike. It looks like he's got some new updates. So remember, we probably don't have ABS. We probably don't have a lot of these electrical systems. So we really have to make up for the fact that we don't have rider aids with good skill. Okay, so we're going into a corner. What do you think is going to be happening here? Squirrel? Where? So limited line of sight, slow down. Great. So we got a blind corner coming up. So guys, we're coming up to a blind corner. What should we be doing? We should be in orange stage. We should be going around this corner as smooth and slow as what we can do. Slow look, press, and roll. We slow down before the turn. We look where we need to go. We can't see very far, so looking's kind of a problem. We press the initiate counter steering, and we're going to roll on that throttle on the way out. Okay, we can give it a little bit of throttle during the turn to maintain our speed around the turn, because while you're turning, you're starting to shed some speed off. Maybe like 1 or 2 miles an hour per something feet. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But the thing is, we're going to start losing some speed going around a corner, so you give it just a teeny tiny bit, and that's called maintenance throttle, okay? So we're going to be moving right here. What is that? What happened there? What happened with the back end slipping and sliding? What's doing that? What's doing this? What's happening there? You saw his front brake. Okay, so what do you think he's doing with his rear brake? Maybe he's pressing it a little hard. Now, why are we doing that? So start thinking about that. Root cause analysis, start going backwards. What do you think would have caused his rear tire to slide out? So too much rear brake. Why are we putting too much rear brake? Maybe we're panicking a little bit. Maybe we're panicking a little bit because we can't see around the corner. We now are starting to realize, oh crap, we're going too fast for the corner, so we're going to give it a lot of rear brake. Now, what do you think a lot of rear brake really means? Okay, it's your right foot. What else do you do when you're out driving? Okay, you use your right foot for the accelerator, you use your right foot for the brake. So in your car, if you have an issue, what do you do with that right foot? You start to really press harder and harder and harder and harder. You could do that in a car. On a motorcycle, you give it harder, harder, harder on that rear brake. Guess what happens? So only about 20, 30, maybe 40% if you're on a cruiser, probably 10% on a really nice sport bike. You give it too much, you lose traction. It's not going to slow you down. And now that front tire is going to get more and more weight, right? So now it's even less weight on that rear tire, so you're going to start slipping and sliding. So that is a big problem when it comes to motorcycle riding, is that people panic with that rear brake. So you need to have good front brake pressure, progressive brake pressure. But then how do we prevent that in the first place? Slowly press and roll into a corner. It's a lot easier to add more speed on the second half of that corner, especially if you're just commuting. We're not here trying to go fast. We're not here trying to do the first half fast, second half fast. We're trying to do the second half and exit out. Okay, we're just trying to maintain speed and exit out. And if we have to, decelerate before the turn. We're not here trying to race. Okay, so I have a feeling too much rear brake, starting to slip and slide a little bit. What happened there when it did this? So when it did this, that is the tire regaining traction. So what do you think he did as a motorcycle rider? Maybe released a little bit of that rear brake and then regained traction. Okay, so now we got good traction again, right? But man, is that going to do that to you and really freak you out, right? So now you're starting to have a little bit of a panic. So when we see this part, ooh, that's him like, uh-oh, I did it and I'm scared. And look what we're doing again. So now we're just trying to slow down and stop, but we're not going to do it in time. We're not going to do it in time. Now, what is this? Now, what happened there? He honked the horn. Just kidding. He kind of did. But here's the thing. What happened? It's a high side. So now it started sliding this way, grab traction, and then we flip over. Okay, we grab traction, we flip over. Very high impact, very dangerous for the motorcycle rider. Not good. So hopefully you have full gear. Ooh.
No.
Hitting.
No.
Okay, so here's the thing. Sonny Bono died when he ran into a tree skiing. You know, Liam Neeson's wife died from a brain bleed skiing, hitting a tree or hitting her head on something. So we're over here riding.
No.
And we're going 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 around a corner. We hit a tree on our head. Even with a helmet, guys, we're going to start having issues. We could possibly have that coup contre coup. We really will. We're going to have massive concussions, contusions, bleeding, all those different things when it comes to our brain. Okay, loss of cerebral spinal fluid coming out of our nose and ears. Guys, we can have some massive issues. Don't let this happen to you.
No.
Oh, it's a beautiful bike. It's a cafe. Oh, man. Beautiful. Thank you so much for Cardo for sponsoring this channel. Make sure you click the link in the description. It'll automatically apply a discount. It's an amazing product. Check them out. Links in the description. See them. All right, so right here, good, unique view. What do you think happened there? Just take a quick look. Root cause analysis. We did dump the bike. We fell on the inside. We have a row of cars right here. It looks like we're lane filtering. Do you think maybe we collided with the vehicle like right here and then fell this way? But it was a low speed where we didn't go flying, right? He's also got some good gear. So he's being a smart rider, right? All right, so we're going to be riding in the rain. What's a thing that's going to happen in the rain? Loss of traction. Dump the bike. Now, if it's really cold where you're at and it's raining like this, a little bit of sleet, you got to really watch out for, guess what, ice. And then you also have to watch out for the paint, okay? Ooh. That's gotta hurt. So one of the things when it comes to the paint though, and this is what I really want to point out. When it comes to like, hey, we have to ride like we're invisible, that's a very blanket statement. When it comes to, hey, always avoid the paint. Now, I would say, yes, please avoid the paint because then you minimize a lot of issues, but they're starting to put, and I believe they've been putting it for a while. Hopefully they're still doing it. They're putting sand, they're putting granulars, some aggregate inside the paint to where it does create some type of traction. So when they do paint, there is traction. It's not just this slick paint line and then you have the nice grippy asphalt. Now, some places don't do it. So right now, it really is, okay, try to avoid the paint. Yeah, truly believe it. But at the same time, don't believe the super duper hype of all paint is bad, okay? But I would recommend you don't apply all your brake pressure on paint or all your swerving on paint. What you can do in this situation is slow it down as far back as possible. You do see that we have what is a roundabout, but that's kind of an intersection, okay? So intersections and corners, you're in orange stage, okay? You identified a possible threat. The reason why we do orange stage when it comes to intersections and corners is because that's where a lot of motorcycle riders die. So if we're going to be doing this right here, going in town, the typical thing is going to be the intersection. So try to slow it down as far as possible because we have the environment to deal with. Since we have the environment to deal with, we really need to use as much of the road as possible to slow down because water will remove some of that traction that we absolutely need for braking. So good, smooth, slow, progressive brake pressure. And when I say slow, I don't mean you need 5,000 feet to slow down for something like this. I just mean you need a little bit more than you typically would when it came to dry asphalt. Your tires should be in good condition because you have been doing your T-clocks and you have been paying attention to them. They are aired up the appropriate way. And now all we have to worry about is our hand movements versus blaming our tires, blaming the paint, blaming cars. We're going to go ahead and blame our skill on this one. So we should be slowing down, slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. If we can't slow down in time, what is another red stage maneuver that we could do outside of emergency braking? Because we can't slow down in time. We can go ahead and swerve. Now you can swerve in rain. That's perfectly fine. It's in Romania. Yeah. Oh, and then Vasu, another hazard he just mentioned in the chat. Thank you so much. Is that we have lower visibility. So maybe this person, this rider, just didn't see this in time because look at the face shield, completely covered in water. Okay. So think about getting Rain-X that is for plastic or some type of water resistant film, but for plastic. Don't get Rain-X for glass. It'll destroy your face shield. To help prevent fogging, get a pin lock or get a system that has pin lock. So right here, you see how we're starting to slide a little bit? That's that loss of traction. That's really what it is. Too much brake pressure for the tires in the environment. Loss of traction, low-sided, and it's not a good situation. So in that, what can we do if we are new and we want to really make sure we're in the best position possible for mitigating any injuries? And it doesn't have to be new riders. It could be anybody. Is get yourself some gear. We're giving away $800 worth of RevZilla gift cards. Please sign up, join up. Every month, we're doing it. Every month. Oh, the problem is this guy's standing in the way. Come on, get out of here. What do you think that is? All right, he's doing a wheelie. What do you think is going to be the biggest factor here? Definitely ego. Do you think ego is going to be a factor in this situation? Now, ego itself is not the problem. You could be sitting at home with the biggest ego by yourself, and you wouldn't have a problem. Outside of, giving yourself some type of complacency and maybe Dunning-Kruger effect going on. But when does ego become a problem? Ego becomes a problem when you're in charge of a machine that can deliver you going 100 miles an hour easily. Ego's a problem when you let it take control over the good brain, the conscious and the nice angel on your shoulder telling you don't do it. Okay? Ego can be the problem that will make you give it too much throttle. Ego will be the problem in thinking that you can brake on a dime and lane filter going 80 miles an hour. Ego can be the thing that's going to cause you to do a wheelie when you probably shouldn't do a wheelie. So if you can keep your ego in check, you can also keep your, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this in check. You might have the skill for it, but just because you can do it doesn't mean you should. Okay?